Welcome to this special presentation for our radio system here on what really amounts to the fourth week of the semester. And the fourth week of the semester, in my mind, should be something of a milestone, meaning that the semester is no longer just starting. And that's kind of important to understand because we have to get this show on the road. It's all about momentum. And so it's important that we keep going, even though we are admittedly coming to some setbacks. I believe we're in a position where this doesn't have to affect us, at least not in most cases. And if it does in some, I understand. Not all of you are going to be broadcasting from the school, but I would think that most of you still can because the school is not actually closed. And so we're going to go over this one more time because I want to make sure, this will be a brief one because I want to make sure that you've got what you need to do it. Okay, so once again, the show must go on. It's all about momentum. And what do I mean by momentum? Basically what I mean is if we're not doing it yet, we have to get started soon because if we don't do it, we're not going to do it. If we do it, we can keep doing it. There's a difference. If you're getting into the routine, you can keep the routine going. But if you're not in the routine, then it's comfortable not to start. And we can't let that happen, especially now. So basically what I'm going to tell you is basically a pep talk. Do it. We are behind schedule. I mean, simply put, by now our lineup should be available, and I can't really do our lineup until we have our lineup. And we have challenges, but we cannot afford to give up. And we have to improvise, which I am more than happy to do. I'm also, and here's the important part, amnesty. Now, if some of you were told that you are not going to get full credit for this week, I'm going to leave that open. In other words, if you can get the show up, if you can get something up, then at least for this time period only, we will reconsider that situation because obviously I want to make sure that everybody's happy with what we're doing. And I believe that a lot of the problems with the radio shows are not strictly your fault. We have had some technical issues. I was there, I saw that. And obviously now with the I don't know what you call it, with the non-meeting thing, we're going to have to try to stabilize that issue. But I still think we can do it. And so at this point, we're kind of taking it gently. But at the same time, there's the carrot's here, but the stick's got to be back there somewhere. You still have to do something. Okay, we need to get the lineup up. The network appears to be working. Now, let's give it one more try, like I said, and let's talk about the basics. The basics are, you need to know by now, you need to know how to use the audition program. There are tutorials up, and I'm making this tutorial will also cover much of what you need to know. You need to be able to record audio, you need to be able to edit audio, and you need to be able to save audio. That's really all it is, and believe it or not, that's all radio is for the most part. And you need to be able to upload the audio. And that, admittedly, is where we've been having some issues. Now, the scheduler, we haven't gotten to this yet, but we need to. In this particular case, once you get going, I'll take care of setting that up for you, and then we'll turn to that when the time comes, when we get back in the lab. It's not that difficult, but at least for the moment, don't worry about it. I'll take care of that in. Okay, here we are at Adobe Audition, and this is where you're going to be doing your audio recording, obviously. And so we're just going to record a small sample, which I'm going to use for an example. Now, first of all, if I hit record, you can see that it's picking up the microphone that I'm using here, and that's perfectly good. The only problem is, since I don't have the mixer there, I have no real control over the levels. It's on automatic. And if you look at the level here, it's not all that good. You see, it's getting into the yellow, but it's still peaking at -9, which is not really completely high enough, but we'll go with it for now. But what I want to do is I want to record a brief script. And so I'm just going to put this up over here, and I'm going to read that, and then we will use that to make a sweep. And all I'm going to do is just vocal alone. I'm not even going to do any mixing. Right now, we're just focusing on the basics. So here goes. In 3. Methodist University students, have you ever wanted to get on the radio? Well, now is your chance. We still have room in our fall lineup for new radio shows on a variety of time slots. If you are interested, please get in touch with Paul J. Joseph in the Communication Department or send a proposal to pjoseph@methodist.edu. That's pjoseph@methodist.edu. If you have a voice for radio or you just have something to say, we would love to hear from you. Okay, and that's enough. So I'm going to put this away. And I know that this is crap, and this is crap, and this is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to stop recording. And if I were to play some of this back, let's see what happens. Okay, so we can see that. So here's where the show begins.
Methodist University students.
See? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit out that. So I just click and drag, highlight all that stuff, and notice how it takes up half of the show. I hit the delete button, gone. And so now, in fact, I could even take it a little further if I wanted to, but I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap there.
Methodist University students.
Okay, and we know if we play from here,
Love to hear from you.
love to hear from you was the last word.
Okay, and that's enough.
And so the rest of the stuff here, we will get rid of that as well. And so that is what we want. So if I play it back.
Methodist University students, have you ever wanted to get on the radio? Well, now is your chance. We still have room in our fall lineup for new radio shows on a variety of time slots. If you are interested...
Okay, so in the interest of time, the first thing I'll say is it's too quiet. So I'm going to grab my little audio dial here, and I'm just going to goose it. I'm just going to goose it up to around 3. It doesn't take long to do that because it isn't a very long file. So then, if I play this back...
Methodist University students, have you ever wanted to get on the radio? Well, now is your chance. We still have room in our fall lineup for new radio shows on a variety of time slots. If you are interested, please get in touch with Paul J. Joseph in the Communication Department or send a proposal to pjoseph@methodist.edu. That's pjoseph@methodist.edu. If you have a voice for radio or you just have something to say, we would love to hear from you.
Okay, so there it is. Now, let's say I wanted to get rid of the second email. Let's say, because right now that's 30 seconds, and let's say I wanted it to be less than 30 seconds, I could always highlight that and delete it. And so then if I go back here, let's see what that does.
At methodist.edu. If you have a voice for radio or you just have something to say, we would love to hear from you.
Okay, and so that comes out at 28 seconds. And so I'm going to go with that because 28 seconds is a little bit better than hitting it right at 30. So then, now that I've recorded it, I'm going to save it. So if I hit File, Save As, and in this particular case I'm calling it Test, I'm going to call it radio_sweep. And if I hit Browse, I'm just going to go put it in the main folder here. And right now it's being saved as a WAV file. I don't want it saved as a WAV file. I want it saved directly as an MP3 because I'm not going to do any editing with this. So radio sweep, oh, that's MP2, whatever MP2 is. Radio sweep MP3. And that is critical because it needs to be compressed in order to work properly. And then I'm just going to hit, you can see it's MP3 audio. You can leave the rest of this stuff alone. That's probably not going to matter. And I hit OK. And it's warning me that it's a compressed format. I know it's a compressed format. I'm just going to hit OK. And there it is. And so if we look at this, radiosweep.mp3 is 665 kilobytes. And it's 28 seconds. That is the file that we're going to work with. And at this point, I don't need Audition anymore. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up FileZilla because now that we've recorded the radio show, I want to show you how to upload it. And so from there, you just go into where it says host and type in ftp:// www.methodistradio.com, And I'm going to borrow a user because I wanted to make this look as normal as possible. And if I hit quick connect, this is what should happen. It should look just like this on your end, wherever you happen to be. You'll have on this side whatever the computer is looking at in terms of files. That may not be your folder. It may be your folder. On this side is always going to be your server space. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to find that folder where I saved that in. And you see here it is. Okay, so you see on this side you've got your files, and that is the radio sweep that we wanted to do. And this is where it's going. And so it's important that you understand that there's two halves to this. This little thing's called index. That is the actual web page, and everything else has to be either an image that's on the web page or an audio file. So I'm going to first take the web page down here and get a better look at it. So then if I go to where the web page is, now there it is. There is index.htm. And in this case, I could use Dreamweaver. I'm just going to open it up with Notepad because I know that you have Notepad. Notepad is everywhere. And if you look at it on Notepad, you'll see a bunch of crazy text that you don't have to worry about. The first thing that you're going to want to look for is the phrase show archives. In fact, you can even do a search for show archives and find it if you're having a hard time seeing it. And so well, let's do it that way. So if I go up here somewhere and I go to find, I say archives, suddenly there it is. So down here I have show archives. And so the reason why that's important is that anything that you see within an angle bracket doesn't show up on the screen, but show archives do. And so let's look at what this would look like on the internet. So if I go here and once again I'm borrowing a website. I'll get this back to you, Rod, don't worry. This is what we got now. You see show archives says that right there. That's where it is. Show archives. And August 2020 is the only thing on show archives. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to temporarily put that sweep there. And so I'm going to take the line, the entire line that has that code on there, and I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to go one line down and hit Control V or paste, and there it is. So I got a second version. Now, anything that's not in the angle brackets can be edited. So August 2020, I'm going to say radio sweep. And so that's what will be seen on the website. Now, this part where there's an href, that is where the file is. And so I'm going to say here, radio_sweep.mp3 is the name of the file. And that's it. Then I'm just going to save it. Then I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to take the index file, which I have edited, and I'm going to drag it back up there. Then it will replace the other one. And then I'm going to go back here and go to radio sweep. I'm going to drag that up there too. And so now we have two files. We've got the index file and we've got radio sweep. Now, once I've done that, instantly, if I go back here, well, looks like nothing happened. But if I hit the refresh button, boom, radio sweep happens. And if I go to radio sweep.
Methodist University students, have you ever wanted to get on the radio?
You see it?
Well, now is your chance. We still have room in our fall lineup for new radio shows on a variety of time slots. If you are interested, please get in touch.
I won't make you listen to the whole thing. All right, so going back, there it is. And so that is how you do it. And so all I'm asking you to do is basically put together at least one show. If you haven't already put together one show, get that done first, and then put together your next show as soon as you possibly can so that you keep momentum. And if you have any questions about this, let me know.